All right, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Anything Goes podcast. You are joined here by your four lovely hosts. You've got myself, Eli. We've got Sean.
What's up?
We've got Aiden.
Hi.
And we've got Ronnie.
Hi.
Today is just another day in the studio lab. What's going on?
I record from the chimney. Get it right.
You know, I always felt like you were the type of person who would record from your kitchen, Sean. You know, right there next to your fridge.
Or in a cafe.
Too much echo.
Too much echo. Or
Dude,
in a
that's
cafe.
sick reverb, though.
Would you ever
Yeah,
want
exactly.
to be that guy who is in like... I hate those guys who are in like Starbucks or like your
With their
local
Mac.
coffee area. Yeah, with their MacBook and they think or their Surface Pro and they think they're better than everyone else. Sitting there with their AirPods. Being a little
Might be
shit,
projecting
not
a
doing
little
anything important. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting there looking like a piece of shit, you know, making it seem like, oh, I'm so important because I'm looking at graphs that I actually just pulled off of Google Images, threw into Photoshop, and now I'm just doing
I'm
dumb
pretending
stuff.
to be. Hey, fuck
That's
those
them
guys.
pretending to be
Hey,
important, or they just
They
type
could
forever.
just be wanting a nice, like, relaxing place to chill.
Fuck those
Out
guys.
of the house.
Chill at home, bitch.
No,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
chill at
there's
home.
a lot of anger
Maybe
going
their
on.
home. Maybe their
Fucking
home life
loser.
sucks, dude. Starbucks is their escape.
Well, go suck somewhere else.
Go suck. Yeah, stop sucking in my
Get outta
coffee
here.
shop.
Those guys aren't
Get
the,
out of my
those guys
damn
aren't the
coffee
worst.
shop.
Those guys aren't the worst. You know who is the worst? Back when Barnes and Noble was still a thing. Or
I
it
go
is
to
still a
Barnes and
thing.
Nobles.
But you know, back in Barnes and Noble, where you would walk around, then you would accidentally stumble across the manga section. There'd be a bunch of weebs just sitting there reading the manga instead of buying them.
I
That's
gotta say,
degenerate.
it's funny that you even brought up Barnes and Noble because I literally was at Barnes and Noble's yesterday and I picked up 2 books. So
Books.
Nice. What'd you get?
I picked up something a little bit outside of what I would normally get. I picked up The Day After Roswell. A former Pentagon official reveals the U.S. government's shocking UFO cover-up.
That sounds very real.
But I mean, it's got some pretty reasonable, pretty reliable sources here. I mean, Colonel Philip J. Corso, he was actually, let me pop this open here
Literally
actually
who?
so I can read it to you.
You gonna start wearing a tinfoil hat?
No, but it's, you know, well, there's nothing wrong with knowing the truth, man. Like some things, well, you just believe that everything that's ever said is never actually happened. Sometimes this stuff is real.
Fair enough. But I don't know, man.
He was okay. This is all backed. So it's all backed by declassified documents through the Freedom of Information Act. So you can actually go and find everything that he talks about in this. You can find it on the actual CIA website in their declassified documents. So it's all there, and the government says it was real. Says this is what happened. Says this information, and this is actually coming from a person who was there. He's actually was a member of President Eisenhower's National Security Council and former head of the Foreign Technology Desk at the U.S. Army's Research and Development Department. So I kind of wanted to give it a read just because I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So, you know, normally I'm into like the more science fiction books, but I felt like I'd get into
I
something
mean,
a
it
little
is
bit
science
more.
fiction, so you're right on track.
It's not, and it's not
Smoked.
found in the science fiction area. It's not found in the science fiction area, okay?
You're right.
Get
It's a
outta
depressing
here.
drama about someone with severe mental illness.
Who is? What? No, what are you talking about?
There was no alien.
This is just talking about the events of the day, like what actually happened during that day.
Okay.
I don't know if it actually says anything about, oh, the aliens are actually there. They're
Eli,
real. I
if
haven't
it
read
does,
it yet. I
will
picked it
you
up
be
yesterday.
like, bruh? Will you have a bruh moment?
You haven't read it yet, right?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Okay, so he
I'm
doesn't
just saying,
even know.
if you get to like towards the end and he's like, then it was revealed that aliens were at war with the United States, are you gonna be like, bruh?
No, because I wouldn't believe that. But
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I
Are you
feel
gonna
like-
be like, are you serious?
No,
Or
but
you
I
buying it?
would keep an open mind if it's more so like, oh, some of the stuff that happened that people reported seeing was actually seen, and maybe it was like a governmental, like they were testing like some flying craft or whatever. That I would believe, because you got to realize back during World War II, the Nazis literally had UFOs, real flying saucer looking things. The Nazis made these. They exist. You can find them. They're at some museum somewhere. I don't know. but like they actually existed. So it's like if the Nazis did it back in World War II, who's to say that
Yeah. The
people aren't
Nazis
doing our government's not doing it now? You know?
Yeah, the Nazis were experts at their crafts.
I mean, you're
not wrong.
You're not wrong. It's hard to say you're not wrong, but yeah. Aside from Barnes and Nobles and loser ass people inside of Starbucks, and I'm just kidding, you guys are cool. I just don't like the ones who are always like, I'm writing a memoir about my life, and
I'm 30.
And I'm 30 years old. It's like, shut up.
While he's drinking out of his goat horn.
Exactly, at Starbucks, typing on his $2,000 MacBook. So, but what's been going on, guys? What's been popping?
Not too much.
Not too much.
It's kind of in that lull period of the year, honestly.
It really is, yeah. Aiden, what about you?
Pretty much the same. I mean, to be honest, nothing really big has happened this year so far, outside of like some real life drama, that everyone knows about already.
The coronavirus?
Yeah, shit like that. Apart from that, apart from China getting fucking decimated and then lying and covering it up and throwing people in mass graves and
shit. Dude, they killed the guy who uncovered...
Yeah, I know!
He died!
Listen, I'm not trying to end up on a Chinese, hit list, okay? So I'm not even gonna bother. But, as far as, actual, entertainment news or anything interesting or fun, virtually nothing has happened this year. It's pretty early, so like Sean said, it's kind of the lull period. It's pretty boring.
Yep.
True. Ronnie?
Gentlemen, I went on a journey. Through time and a lot of car chases.
Take me with you.
I watched all of the Terminator movies.
Take me with you!
Okay.
I watched all of the Terminator movies, and I want to rank each of them in a tier list for all of you right now.
Okay. Everybody get a pen and a pencil.
All right, hold on. I gotta take notes on this shit. Okay.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me grab my notepad from my last job.
All right, I'm ready.
Yep.
Are we starting from the bottom or the top?
We're gonna start from the top to the bottom, best to worst.
Top tier. Okay.
Lead us in, Ronnie. Lead it.
All right. First, we have an S tier, which is obviously the king of them all, which is Terminator 2, and that's because Terminator 2 is basically
easily the best.
It's easily the best. It's basically perfection itself. Everything about it, I loved. There's not a single thing in that movie that I actually disliked. I loved the characters. I liked the action. I liked the plot. I liked everything in that movie. So yeah, that's basically it for S tier. There's not much you can really say for Terminator 2 besides
I'm gonna
it's
have
just
to disagree with you, and I'm gonna have to put that in D tier.
D tier?
Eli, shut the fuck up.
It's okay. If you want to put it in D tier, you can.
Nope.
No, it's not okay, actually.
Points null and void. It's okay.
It's not okay. Shut up.
For whatever reason.
You're not allowed to say
just
that.
wanted to object.
Okay.
He's just trying to be contrarian.
Sometimes you need a contrarian, because sometimes you need to just throw a rock at somebody.
Hey, Sean. Can you be that person?
Going.
Can you be that person?
Can I be that? I mean, I do have
Sean
a lower
is that
opinion of
person.
Terminator 2 than most people.
Okay,
let's finish the tier list first. Let's finish the tier list.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up, we have an A tier, which is Terminator 1. Put Terminator 1 in A tier, because I like Terminator 1. It's still a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I like the characters. I like the development of Sarah Connor as a character through the movie, and the effects don't hold up so well. It's specifically the T-800. It literally looks like, I thought they actually just had a toy and they were just putting it from the camera. The effects really don't hold up, but at the same time, it's really charming and kind of fun when they do it.
It's like a B movie.
It does feel like a B movie.
It had the budget of a B movie.
It had, yeah.
I'm sure which you noticed.
Yeah, of course you could notice, because the second they show Arnold's face, and it's just a sculpted model, and it looks awful. But at the same time, it's hard to not love it for doing that.
All right, so the budget for Terminator 1, really quick, was $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
The budget for Terminator 2 was $100 million. So just
Makes sense.
The difference.
That should explain a lot.
By the way, the effects in Terminator 2 still hold up really well, especially with the T-1000. Those effects. I think those effects hold up really well.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss after you finish.
Yeah, we'll get it. Hold all comments till after this list. Write them down if you must, so that way you can address each one.
Okay.
I got
All right, then we have B tier. And now we have C tier, because nothing belongs in B tier. Nothing else after that belongs in B tier. C tier, I put Terminator Salvation, and I put in Terminator Dark Fate. Because I feel like they're both part of the same coin, as in I found them very, very average, forgettable movies for the most part. I think they're okay movies. They're not bad, but they're not good either. They're just forgettable. And that's pretty much it for that one. And what's next? D tier? In D tier, I put Terminator 3. Terminator 3, now that feels like a B movie also. That one was fun for me. But then the last one, the bottom of the barrel, which if Terminator 3 is a steaming pile of crap, Terminator Genesis is a disgusting cesspool of just pure garbage. So there you go. That's my highly rated tier list.
Let me ask you something, really quick. Is Terminator 3 the best part of the movie when her boobs expand?
No, the best part. That's not the best part of the movie. Have you seen Terminator 3?
Yes.
The best.
Are you gonna say the hearse then?
No, the best part of the movie that actually just had me bust a gut laughing was when Arnold was fighting her in the bathroom, and there's that part where like she grabs him and she pushes him against the wall, and he like pushes back, but then she like does a crotch grab on him, and he like quickly like turns his head to look at her, and then she picks him up like by the crotch, like she like lifts him up and she starts battery ramming him through the stalls. The second
I remember that.
The second I saw that, I could not stop laughing for like 10 minutes, and I kept rewinding it because I couldn't believe that it was in the movie. That entire movie just feels like a complete joke, and I couldn't believe it. There's just so many stupid things, and Arnold is easily the best part of that movie. He is so funny in that movie.
Would you say you enjoyed it, but it was a bad movie?
Yes. Okay. We all here know that I love bad movies. I think bad movies are hilarious, and if it makes me laugh, I enjoy it a lot more. So
okay,
yeah,
because I'm very sympathetic to that. I almost honestly, just from my initial of looking at this list, I haven't seen Dark Fate, so I won't comment on it. This is pretty much my list exactly. I would have to say this is, in my opinion, pretty much the optimal solved tier list that is canon for the Terminator series.
Yeah, if we want to rank them in my enjoyment factor, it would easily go 2, 1, and then it would probably go 2, 1, 3, Salvation, Dark Fate, and then Genesis for my enjoyment factor. Mind you, I watched them all in release order, except I watched Terminator 2 before Terminator 1. After that, I watched them all in release order.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I think this list is pretty much perfect. I don't disagree with any aspect of this list.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Dark Fate, that's the new one,
Yes,
right?
that's the newest one.
Okay, just verifying.
Yes.
Because I remember...
We talked about Dark Fate in the call.
We talked a little bit about it, and you posted that.
You're talking about the scene with Arnold in the draperies, right?
Yeah.
That is easily my favorite part in the entire movie. It's really stupid, but the thing is that that's with Carl, the lovable T-800 in that movie, that kills John Connor and has adopted the name Carl and lives in a platonic loveless relationship with his wife, and he owns a drapery.
Bruh.
But at the same time, he's easily the most interesting character in my opinion. But they don't go too in depth with him.
Right.
Well, I mean, listen, there's an obvious contrarian standing out because he hasn't said anything yet. So I'm just gonna bite my tongue and I'll just let him go off. I suggest you guys do the same thing because I'm really curious to hear what Sean has to say about this.
Okay.
Well, it's probably not as exciting as you would think, but basically, a big thing with me is expectations when I go into a movie are absolutely huge. Like, if I go into a movie like The Last Jedi, for example, and I'm expecting like a really awesome sequel that answers a lot of questions, and then I get what we got, it's really disappointing. And it makes me like the movie a lot less than if I had no expectations going into it. And that was the problem with Terminator 2. Going into it, everyone told me this is the greatest action movie of all time. And it's just, like Ronnie said, it's perfect. And I watched it, and I was like, yeah, this is good. But I've seen so many action movies before I actually got around to seeing it. For me, it was just kind of like, it hit all the bases. It was fine. I did like the characters a lot. I will say that's where it kind of rises above your average action movie. But a lot of the stuff it did has been imitated so many times that when I got to it, it wasn't as special anymore. That's basically my take on it.
I think that's...
You left out one important part, though, of your take that you told us. Which is that you thought Dark Fate was better than Terminator 2.
I liked Dark Fate better personally because it was funnier. And I thought that Carl was a pretty interesting character. And I thought the enemy Terminator was basically the same thing, but a little bit more, like a little more interesting. Even if as like a character, it was less like intimidating because the actor just didn't have the same, I don't want to say charisma, but like the same presence as the guy from Terminator 2. But I think, again, going to expectations, I came into Dark Fate just like seeing it because I was bored and I was like, this is going to suck, but whatever, it's something to do. And then it ended up being actually kind of fun. Like, at an objective level, if I sit back, I would agree with Ronnie. Terminator 2 is the best one, and it's much better than Dark Fate. But on a personal level, I just enjoyed Dark Fate's more. I mean, really, Salvation is my favorite of all of them, which is like blasphemy to a lot of people. But for me, the most interesting part of Terminator is Skynet and the robots. And that's like what Salvation is. It shows you, post-Judgment Day and like all the crazy robots and stuff that Skynet is doing to track people down.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
interesting to me. I really liked that they tried something new.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. That's why it was hard for me to really figure out where I wanted to put Terminator, Dark Fate, and Salvation, because I like Salvation because it does something different. Because a lot of the things that the new Terminator movies do is they just keep trying to rinse and repeat, do something else, do the same thing. Dark Fate was Dark Fate was getting on my nerves because it literally takes the opening of Terminator 2 and just does it all over again. It just copies Terminator 2 in a lot of places.
It's practically just a remake.
It's practically just a remake. And Genesis is practically a remake of 1 for like the first part, and then it's just garbage after that.
I think a good comparison is I can't even think of the name. Force Awakens. It's basically the Force Awakens of Terminator.
Yes, it basically is. But the worst part, it basically is, because then this one, because I already told you guys that John Connor is dead in Dark Fate. And so, but then it's revealed that there is a new person that becomes a leader. And we get to see her, and and you know how everyone says Rey is the worst, she's a Mary Sue and whatnot? I legit felt like I was watching a fan film, because the main character, Danny, is so boring, yet she is constantly being praised as the most, like, badass bitch around, and it's so annoying. The worst scene in that entire movie, I talked about this with Sean, and Sean even agreed with me on this because this scene is so bad. It's so dumb. There's a part where they, because she stands up and she goes, Yo, chicas, I'm gonna fight, Holmes. We're gonna fight this Terminator, man. And they're like, okay. She doesn't sound like that. I'm just making fun of her. She doesn't sound like that. She is from Mexico. She is from Mexico, and she is Mexican. But she doesn't sound like that.
Why they gotta use the stereotype?
Because it was funny. So.
Oh no, I thought they actually did. Okay,
no. She's a perfectly normal, like, Mexican woman. Like, she's just normal. Yeah. And so, but she's just like, I'm going to stand up and fight.
The route to utilize the stereotype, because I was like, at that point, there's obviously,
but anyways, during this scene, they're like, we got to train her then. And so they give her a pistol, and they're like, okay, shoot these watermelons. And she misses every shot. She couldn't hit any of the targets. And then Sarah Connor goes, oh, you guys are wasting your time. And then she like gives her like a giant like assault rifle, and she like puts it in her hands, and she like whispers in her ear. She says, "A Terminator has just killed your entire family. What do you do?" And then Danny, without fail, shoots every watermelon after that.
What?
I'm not even kidding you. It's immediate. It's immediate that they do this. And there's just like there's just so many things in that movie. Out of all the other movies, I was able to watch them like perfectly fine. Like every now and then I would like go on my phone because I'd get a text message and I'd just look. Mostly like Genesis, I would start texting someone. But like through Dark Fate, like half of the movie, I wasn't even watching the movie. I was reading a comic book instead because I just was getting so bored with what was happening.
But the parts that were good were good then.
There was
because it's
Dark
still
Fate?
C tier, yeah. So for Ronnie at least,
it's
so
like
he must have,
there was some good moments. I definitely did like the chase scene in the beginning. I felt like the chase scene in the beginning was good, and I did like the final fight between them when they all face off the Terminator together. I thought that was really at the end. I thought that was really fun. And I did enjoy like some of the conversations between the characters. And whenever Carl started talking, I would always like stop what I was doing and see what he's saying because I was always interested in his character more than anyone else. But there's just like a lot, but like there's just the part that I really just could not stand and I turned myself off to it was there's a part where they have to basically jump the border to get to like Texas.
Yeah.
And there's a part that I just really just didn't care about and I just turned myself off to it. It was just because it's just a big long scene of them getting caught by border control and by ICE and then they're being like ready to like they're put behind cages to be transferred and whatnot, and then the Terminator shows up and they have to escape that scene. That entire scene I just didn't care at all, and it felt really like it just felt tacked on to me at least.
We need a topical reference.
That's what it is, though. It felt like it honestly did feel like that they were trying to be political, but they don't say anything with it. So like I didn't really get anything out of it.
Well, that's why I thought it was fine because they didn't really push it on you. It was just like
it just
was there. It was like a realist. Like this would be a realistic obstacle to them.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna like really push it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like I wish that they just skipped this scene because I just didn't care.
There are a lot of scenes like that in that movie. If you're not like invested in it, you'll just be bored and you'll want to skip past it.
Yeah, it's really boring, but hey, at least it has Carl.
It's very much just a popcorn flick.
Pretty much, it's definitely that. I can definitely agree with that.
And I kind of want to watch T3 again, man.
T3, dude. I'll watch T3 with you. That movie is so bad. That movie is so bad. There's like that whole scene where like I can't remember the name of this stupid love interest for John Connor, but there's but I'm talking about how bad the writing is in this movie because she shows up and she goes, "Oh yeah, Plitsky's basement," and he's like, "What are you talking about, you stupid woman?" And then like they forget about that, and then they like 40 minutes later when they're in the car, and like. And they eventually like the T-800 reveals that they get married in the future, and they're like, we're not gonna get married, and then like they're just like all of a sudden they're just sitting there in the RV together, and she goes, back in Plitsky's basement where all the kids in middle school would go to make out, you and I made out, and he's like, really? And she's like, yeah.
What?
And that's all. And then the next scene happens. I'm like, what? And I'm just like, what is this movie? What am I watching? But like that movie was just so funny, and it doesn't make any sense. They don't even try to make any sense because the whole point of Terminator 2 was them closing the loop, right? That was the whole reason why Uncle Bob dies in the end is because they need to close the loop. But then they reveal it doesn't matter, and then I'm like, okay, well, the only reason why Skynet's still a thing is because the black dude, I can't remember his name, Dyson.
Yeah.
Dyson would make it. And then it would turn into like an airship, which would then evolve into like an AI sort of deal. But in Terminator 3, even though Dyson's dead and they don't have any way to like recreate Skynet, suddenly the jet shows up, and I'm like, what just happened? You're gonna tell me that this army dude developed this jet by himself? Like that's stupid. But
like I'm just really happy you watched Terminator 2.
Yeah, Terminator 2.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Terminator 2 was really good, and I can't believe it took me so long to finally watch it.
God, I love Terminator 2, man.
It's really
so many
good.
Iconic scenes.
The music, the music's really good. I love the music.
The music is really good.
It laid the groundwork for the future of action films in a lot of ways. I think that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just a really great movie, and James Cameron sort of had a similar revolutionary sequel with Aliens. Have you guys seen Aliens with an S?
Yes.
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh
Negative.
my god!
Okay, wait.
I saw
wait,
Aliens,
but
but I didn't see Aliens. Listen, I'm not a movie
I've never
goer.
seen Aliens. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I'm not really.
Is that the next project?
That is the
Aliens?
next
Listen,
project.
Aiden,
yeah.
We
I
have
just-
to watch Aliens.
Aiden, yesterday I just watched The Big Lebowski.
Okay, I've
Greatest-
never seen it.
Oh, you've
Oh.
never seen The Big Lebowski?
I've never seen
I haven't
it.
seen
Big
it either.
I
Lebowski. We
love
need
The
to
Big
watch Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski. That is a really funny movie.
It's
not even
super
like
funny.
I like that movie a lot. It's a really weird movie, but I like it a lot. I don't know if you guys
There is
will.
for
There's a
those at
sequel
home.
that's
Oh,
coming
what?
out. There's a sequel. It got announced yesterday. I
Yeah.
woke up today and I saw it in my feed on YouTube. But there's a sequel, and I'm like, why? Just why? But the timing is perfect. The same day I watched it, they released a trailer for it, so the timing's perfect.
Dang. Listen, you two, Eli and Ronnie, you two are like apparently very uncultured.
In movies,
Honestly.
I
You guys
don't
haven't
am.
seen Aliens. To
Yeah.
my knowledge, neither of you have seen Predator.
I haven't seen Predator.
I've seen Predator.
Okay, thank
seen
God.
Predator.
Ronnie has not seen Predator. I'm gonna say right now, Predator is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Predator. Top 5 favorite movie ever. The fact that you haven't seen it is like disturbing to me.
Is Predator the one where he goes?
I love Predator.
Is Predator the one where he goes, stick around?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I love that movie. I mean, it's like, gee,
It is
I'm
very good.
I'm not much of a movie goer. It's really weird.
I'm not even really.
I
either,
only like watch movies when I'm really bored. I play video games more during my free time. I'm usually just playing video games or I'm listening to stuff on YouTube. I don't watch movies that often.
Right.
So like when it comes to movies, I'm basically a newborn still. There's plenty of movies that everyone goes, "You haven't seen that?" Like you haven't seen any of the you haven't seen Aliens, you haven't seen Predator, you haven't seen all these other like classics. You haven't seen Ghostbusters? And I'm like, "No, I haven't."
You haven't seen.
I haven't seen Ghostbusters.
Oh my!
Wait a second. Hold on a second.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a newborn
I
when it comes
understand-
to cinema.
I understand though,
shit.
because much like Ronnie, my pastime changes consistently. I'm always doing something new and trying to do something new. And I've been, since high school, so a long time, I haven't really been reading. So I've been trying to get back into that. And that's why I picked up the Day After Roswell book, where you guys gave me shit for. And also the other books I've got. So I've been slowly getting back into reading, and I've been enjoying that. And then I've also, like, bought a new camera. That's for something else. That's for we'll talk about that outside of the podcast, because your boy got plans for this channel. So I bought a high-end camera, a great, very expensive camera.
Whoa.
I bought a second motorcycle. It's coming from LA, so I'll have that next week.
My God.
And tomorrow my motorcycle should be out of the shop. So
Hey, finally, man.
yeah, so I've got a.
That's gonna happen.
And then, yeah, like Ronnie said, YouTube and gaming, and sometimes it's like I come home from work and I'm just like, I just want to read a book, or
Yeah,
I just want
I
to
really
watch
feel
YouTube videos. So it happens, unfortunately.
say,
and
though-
movies fall to the wayside a lot.
My father, I have to thank my father for exposing me to these movies. And clearly your parents have failed you in educating you in
Same.
cinema if you have not seen this.
My dad actually showed me off like a lot of movies when he was still around. He showed me off a lot of them, but he wouldn't show me off.
Well, I mean, you're like...
I'm
5.
fairly certain that if he was still around, he would have shown me Terminator and stuff like that, because that's a rated R movie. There's no way he would have shown me when I was still 10. So, like, I'm sure he probably would have found a time to actually show me those types of movies later on. We just never had the chance to. And my family in general are moviegoers, but they watch really crappy movies, so, like, I don't care what they watch.
Like Transformers.
Oh, my mom watches Lifetime all the time, so, like, I don't care about her opinions for movies.
Dude,
I know that-
the conversation you had with your mom the other day.
Wait, what did I...
About you're like, Mom, all you ever do is watch the Hallmark and Lifetime channels. There's never anything on. and she's like, yeah, I like watching these shows. And you're like, yeah, there's not even black characters. Name one show with a black character.
The thing was that there was a black character on the screen when I was saying that.
She struggles in the background. She's like, "There's black character. I watch."
Yeah, no, she's like, no, there's
like, name one.
She didn't stutter, but she definitely was like, "There's black characters." I'm like, "Where's one where there's a main character that's a black character?" And she's just like, "There are some, believe me." And I'm like, "Okay, mom." I mean, there are black characters in Hallmark, but they're always like the best friend character. That's literally what they always are, and the rest is like two white people trying to freaking like make out. Like, it's not even like they don't even have like sex in the end. They just kiss.
The perfect example is New
No,
Girl.
it's not Lifetime. This was Hallmark.
Hallmark is trash.
Yeah, Lifetime is also trash though.
All the same shit.
It's just ad lib. Like, they just have a framework and just like
Yeah, dude, it's
take
all the
literally
characters and
Mad
stuff
Lib.
into
That's
it.
all
true.
the same with generic names, generic everything.
They recycle the same actors. I can't tell you how many times I would walk
Yeah,
into
they
the
do.
room and I'd see the same actress, and I'm like, "Oh, she's watching the same movie again." Then I'd keep watching, and I'd just be like, "Wait, this is a new movie."
It's like anime.
Yeah,
And
like,
they're all
this is
terrible
different.
too.
Yeah, it's the Hallmark cinematic universe.
It's like anime where they reuse voice actors.
Yeah, no, where they reuse
except they're not good,
actors.
though.
Yeah,
Except
they're
they're
not
bad.
good. They keep
Where
reusing
the main
freaking
character Jennifer in the next in the main character Jennifer in My Sister's Getting Married is now in the next movie called Have You Ever Owned a Dog? And her name is Michelle.
Are those really what those movies are called?
he's
Stuff like that.
he's so close to home though. He's so close
I'm
to
saying
home.
is he-
That's
are
like
you
what it's
close?
like, but
Like,
that's the type of
There's
stuff
like
it is.
there's
yeah.
like romance with a cat and stuff like that. It's stuff that, like there's just
So
stupid.
bad.
They're just stupid titles because they just keep
I
pumping
hate
out these movies.
Lifetime and
yeah,
Hallmark.
they make so many.
Lifetime
of them.
and
They're
all
just the
Lifetime
same.
usually is they're always just like murder mysteries, and by murder mysteries I mean it's always a psycho ex that's trying to go after you because you're dating their ex. That's usually what it always
Literally
is.
always a psycho X. Yes.
trash.
Speaking of murder mysteries,
Garbage.
Murder on the Orient Express. It's a good one. Check it
That's a
out.
good one.
Never seen
That
it.
is a good one.
The most
Oh.
recent adaptation was pretty good.
Oh, really? I'm glad. I mean,
Yes.
I'm kind of happy to hear that. It's a pretty
Yeah.
well-known story, so it's nice
yeah.
to see something actually getting a decent adaptation for once.
Right.
Considering all the shitty sequels and finales we've been getting lately, Game of Thrones
Yeah.
season 8, Star Wars went down the fucking drain in like 2 seconds.
Dude, and it
I mean,
sucks. You notice that? It's
No
like
offense,
they run
Sean,
out of
but
steam
also
at the
Terminator
end.
to a degree just
Yeah.
obliterated.
No, you're right.
I know Dark Fate isn't that. I mean, I haven't seen it, but Genesis was fucking retarded.
Not only that,
Transformers can't
Transformers
go lower.
went bad back with Mark Wahlberg.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Can't because they literally canceled it.
what I'm saying is, it's like, how can it get worse? And every movie was worse, pretty much.
You wanna know
like, this
how?
is impressive.
Right.
Not saying
Aiden.
Mark Wahlberg ruined it, but that's like around the time where the movie
So
was just
You wanna know how,
it's
Aiden?
nice to have a decent I mean, fucking Seven Deadly Sins, bros. You saw the animation. Fuck.
and
Yeah.
Everything sucks. So it's nice to hear there was a decent adaptation.
yeah, and then there's also the incredible terror of the fact that Attack on Titan may be committing seppuku.
Oh my god, no!
Attack on
Dude,
Titan.
I like how you're like, I don't really get it. Like, what's the problem? And then I told you, and you were like,
Well, like
oh.
I got it, but it's just like it was mostly like I'll just wait and see. But then like the more I started thinking about it, I'm just like
The
I
more
really
you're like, oh
I'm
my
like
god.
because the second you said there's 10 more chapters left, I immediately sat there and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that they can do 10 chapters and complete this. Like,
Yeah, it's
and then
going
you're
down
like,
the
and then you
fucking
said,
drain.
yes, he wants a Guardians of the Galaxy ending. And that's when I immediately leaned back in my chair and I'm like, my life is wasted.
Fuck, dude. Like I
Well,
said, I
also-
don't even read Attack on Titan, and I saw that like Avengers tier, we're gonna save the world, and I'm like,
That's literally how the
Oh
last
my
chapter
God.
ends. The last chapter ends with them all walking towards the screen saying, let's go save the world. And I'm like, oh no.
also,
like when
friendly reminder, you guys watched season 1, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
It's all the freaking people, Titan shifters, who were murdering their friends. Now they're teaming up together to save the world. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, one of them
they're
is.
teaming up for a good reason, but it's also, I don't know, it just feels kind of cheesy, I guess.
Well, it's not only that, but the chapter
face
itself
the greater
definitely
evil.
feels rushed and weird. Like, there's literally a part where they just go, where like this one character shows up again, and like her whole thing is that she leaves, and like she was supposed to like leave and like escape, from what I remember from the last chapter. She's supposed to like be gone, but then like they're all sitting there, like they teleport and they're like all of a sudden like having like lunch with like a big crowd of people, and like the character, she just suddenly is sitting next to Armin, and then Connie goes, "Ah, it's you!" and she starts scream, and they scream, and then she's like, and then she leaves a note saying, "I'm going with them." And I'm like, what just happened? Wait,
Friendly reminder: that character also murdered dozens of their friends
without remorse.
Like,
yeah, right.
With no
right.
remorse.
No remorse.
She said she literally says she doesn't regret like any of it. She would do it all again. And they're like, ah.
Well, in the last,
so funny.
In the last chapter, she has expressed that she does feel regrets for it.
Well, maybe.
I mean, she does now.
She
but
would do
during
it
that
again,
scene when they see, because they haven't seen her since
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
So they have no reason to believe that she would regret it.
It's just very weird. It's very weird.
It's very
Can
weird.
I just say, given that you just said that, and then the subject we were just on prior, I would like to address the fact that you're saying this, and that's literally Fast and the Furious right now. Everyone's seen the trailer.
Attack on Titan is gonna be Fast and the Furious.
Attack on Titan, in the regards of what you just said, that is Fast and Furious, because everybody knows Deckard Shaw, what's his name, Jason Statham, killed Han, right? And they knew that he killed Han, yet they let him into the family. He's like, "Oh, I just murdered one of your guys' family members, and now I'm gonna try to kill you guys forever," and da. And then does one thing. Now I get it, it's a big thing. Save Dom's kid, whatever, great. But then after that, he's just like best buds. He's family now with them.
Because
like,
Andy doesn't
this guy
even do
literally
anything.
murdered your friend, like,
Yeah.
and you guys are like, "Let's have dinner with this guy. He's cool."
The
yeah,
character
like,
in question though doesn't even help them in any way. They just find her and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, let's go.
I remember you."
Yeah, let's go. Like they literally just scream, and
Yeah.
and it's a close-up shot of her in shock that they found her, and then they're suddenly all together, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah, it's
they
like,
don't
what?
even show like them talking and like meeting again. It's just they just grab her and leave, and it's like,
What I'm saying is, listen, if people out there are very hopeful still, and I understand that, and I'm not trying to shit on anything really, and I don't follow it that close, whatever. But what I'm saying is, as soon as I saw that, I got serious Game of Thrones Season 8 vibes.
there definitely are.
I was like, oh no.
Game of Thrones just
boy.
didn't explain much. It jump cutted
No,
too
Game of
much. It
Thrones-
skipped a lot and cut out. It put in way too many holes and was just like, and that was just all of season 8. And I was like,
Game of Thrones, completely sober, absolutely lucid, loaded a revolver 1 bullet at a time, put a gun in its mouth, and pulled the trigger 6 times. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
and
way
I was
around
like-
it. It's fucking
Yeah,
retarded.
and they left a
They knew what
Starbucks
they were
coffee
doing.
on the table.
Yeah, fuck that. It's not even the worst part. The worst part is like, oh, the Night King. Who is the Night King? Doesn't matter. Okay,
no,
well,
no.
what
The
is
whole
this
point
guy-
is, no. The Night King was the biggest point of
That's
the entire
exactly-
fucking show.
And they
he
just
was
kill
the
him, and it's
deal.
like, who is
and
he?
then
What is his goal?
episode 3, he's dead. Situation. I'm like, what
Subversion,
what do you mean? Like, what is
expectations
going on?
subverted, boys. We got him.
Now, don't get me wrong. When Arya killed him, my heart was very heavy, and I was just like, whoa, this is insane. But then at the same time, after, when I looked at it from like a more realistic standpoint, outside of being just like the drooling
hype- it was
fan
like,
of like,
whoa,
oh, it's
holy
the
shit.
hype. Yeah, outside of the hype. And I looked at it, I was like,
Like, wait a
that
minute.
was kind of retarded. That was
fucking
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah, I was like, that was stupid. But in the moment,
fag and
obviously,
fag
I was
over
like,
there
yo,
writing.
this is lit. This is the coolest shit ever.
Exactly. I mean, that shit was fucking trash.
Yeah.
Season 8 Game
definitely.
of Thrones, absolute fucking garbo. And honestly, the season before it wasn't necessarily that great either. But it had some good
Yeah,
moments.
7 wasn't too hot either.
But 8?
It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't too hot.
So the fact that when I saw that Attack on Titan chapter, and I thought Season Thrones, I mean,
Season
Game of Thrones
Exactly.
Season 8, the fact that I thought that, I was like, uh-oh, it's happening. It's fucking dead.
It definitely makes me sad. It definitely makes me sad because I got invested. I finally started.
don't blame you.
finished
It's
the
really
rest of
good.
this. I finished the rest of the season this year. Then I started reading up on the manga, and I was getting really invested into it because it was getting really, really good. And I was like, okay, he's gonna end it this year. And I started seeing connections to it. I'm like, he could definitely end it with this, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. He might.
Man, we get a shonen ending.
We might get a shonen ending. I hope we don't. I hope it's.
I think that would kill the series. I'm gonna be honest.
I do think it would kill the series.
The entire series' point has been one that like it's all people basically hate each other and there's no way around it. no matter what you do, and 2, this isn't a shonen, like no friendship power.
I'm okay with because also another idea of it was
they have to overcome the cycle.
I get that, and that's what I want them to do
by talking through it, like talk no jutsu shit, and like power friendship to beat basically Eren, who's like a god at this point. It's gonna be retarded.
The problem is that there's no turning back for what they have done at this point. There has to be consequences for what happens. So if there is, if they come out of it,
commit to genocide. The author, I mean, he has to commit to genociding, or he has to try and pull some shit out of his ass.
I'll say this.
Try and stop.
I'll say this much: someone has to get genocided for any of this to be completely reasonable at this point.
Yeah, you guys are probably wondering what the fuck. I'll say this: if Attack on Titan doesn't end with some kind of genocide or horrific oppression, the series fucking trash.
Because it's been building. It's been building up to it.
I know it sounds dumb, but it has been building up to this the whole time. And if the series really ends like with everyone as friends, based on what we have and have gotten, it would be fucking garbage.
It would. It definitely wouldn't. Because like I said, I want to see. Like the whole point is to see the cycle broken, but like that doesn't mean that the cycle. I want to see the cycle broken and everyone like holding hands in kumbaya. Like that's not how Attack on Titan's supposed to be.
Someone is getting fucked. Someone is getting fucked.
Someone always needs to be on the bad end of the stick. Especially with how far things have gone now. Yeah. So I don't want to get too.
You guys aren't aware. Basically, it's one guy's either going to kill every single person outside of his sort of quote family, if you think, and then everyone else will die, or they'll kill that guy and his entire family will be obliterated.
And then the world will be and then the world will be fine. So there's really no turning back. But let's step away from Attack on Titan because I don't want to get too invested into spoilers.
Sorry, folks. You'll have to put a spoiler tag in there. Not like anyone cares. Attack on Titan.
It's not like anyone's
really
listening.
Relevant anymore. Yeah, no one's listening anyway.
Like, I don't know. I watched the first season because everyone said it was really good, and it was pretty good. But like, as soon as I started reading what happens afterwards, it just went so far from like what I expected or wanted out of that kind of story that I just stopped caring.
Sean, it takes a really far left turn.
But that's the thing, though, Sean. Remember, you and I were both in the same call because we were looking up the wiki together, and we were like laughing about it. And we're like, this is so stupid. But then I watched it, and it actually works really well. And I was completely fine with it.
Story.
I mean, he's just not interested.
Yeah.
The point is just, for me personally, it just wasn't like what I was excited about when I started watching.
I get that.
Political drama wasn't exactly the thing that I think sucked a lot of people.
It's just so weird.
It is weird.
It's really weird.
It does get really weird.
I like the simple, just like man versus monster story.
Yeah.
You know what? Bringing into political drama, I would like to see an anime that's just political drama. Like, throw like a little bit of Trump in here, a little bit of
Eli.
Kim Jong-un there, and anime, dude, that'd be sick.
Gundam has plenty of political drama.
Yeah, Gundam is for you.
Gundam has plenty of political drama.
Nah, no giant mechs, though. This has got to be all...
giant mechs? It's Gundam. You think that there's giant mechs on screen for like 5 seconds.
That's like most mechas in general.
The biggest fucking lie ever, by the way. I hate that shit. I mean, Gundam is great and all. It's all great. Blah, blah, blah. But I want to see some giant fucking robots, okay? Not people going, but sir, the Space People's Republic Protectorate. It's like, all right.
No, that's not even the worst part, Aiden. It's Gundam is always like, war is bad. But check out this sick new weapon we made, bro! Check out this sick new Gundam. Giant shooting robot!
I've watched some Gundam with you. I think it's cool.
Well, you and I watched the ending to like the original Gundam, and we were, and you haven't even seen like any of the other parts of it, and you were getting hyped over it too because of how great it was.
I feel like super cucked when I click on a mecha show with a giant badass robot, and it's in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and I'm like, fuck.
That's fair.
Please,
I know that vibe. Yeah.
It's not even that's bad. It's just that as someone who like I love like Power Rangers and shit, Godzilla, as you guys know if you saw the last episode. I want my fix.
Well, Gurren Lagann's a fix for that.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, one.
But
there's
it's hard
one.
to get your fix, okay? It's really hard.
The over-the-top angle is what Aiden likes to get at. Like, if the more insane and overly stupid it is, the better. Like, that's
what Gurren Lagann is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying.
Like,
But that's a little.
what
But Gurren
works for
Lagann's literally the only mecha that goes to that extreme. At least the only mecha that I've seen so far that has gone to that extreme. There's probably some others out there that I don't know about.
All right. Speaking of over the top, I really want to bring this up. I'm sorry, guys, to blast you with this out of nowhere, but for the first time, I'm actually really considering backing a Kickstarter.
What?
Because
Really?
the Wonderful 101, it has a Kickstarter going right now. And if you guys don't know, Wonderful 101 was a Wii U game that launched from Platinum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in my opinion, one of their best games. It's a genuinely amazing game where basically you play as Power Rangers who get citizens from around the city, and almost like Pikmin, right? So like you're looking from above down, and you draw with the right stick shapes to transform all of them into a weapon. And it sounds weird, and it's esoteric, but it is a really fucking good game.
Do you want to back that? I saw a tweet. I actually saw on Twitter for that, and that thing broke its pledge goal.
Wasn't it successful?
In its pledge goal in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so why do you need to Kickstarter fund it?
Well, I don't.
Why do you want to back it?
Because if you Kickstarter, the Kickstarter fund is still going, and they're adding free DLC for every single thing they break. And so if you pay like if you pay like $30, you get a digital copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the Kickstarter is just a pre-order at this point. But if you do it and you make it, you might get some extra stuff.
So you just want to help out to like get the because you want more.
I want the game. I'd be buying the game.
Yeah, you'd be buying the game, but at the same time, you're helping the pool to get more stuff out of it. I think that's fair.
While we were talking about mechas and shit, I really wanted to bring this up because I think it's a genuinely great game. A lot of people missed out on it. I think it has when you first look at it, you think, who is this game for? But I think most people would find enjoyment out of it from the story or the really deep combat. The combat's like very deep to like the crazy, just over the top action fun with like a great soundtrack and shit. So Wonderful 101, I guess this is almost like my recommendation. And it's also something that I'm like, wow, I can't believe I might actually use Kickstarter for something.
I'm looking at it right now because I opened it up on Kickstarter, and its initial goal was $49,430 as a goal. They are at currently $1,467,108.
Yeah, no, they broke their goal in like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I saw it on Twitter, and it was like an hour or so. Now, if they reach 1.5 mil, they have Luca's first mission, a brand new 2D side-scrolling adventure starring a young hero. So kind of like they throw you like they're like a whole separate version of the game, like a spin-off
like a
of
mini
the game
game
or whatever.
Sort of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then if they reach 1.75 mil, then they do a remix soundtrack featuring a secret special guest. Sorry.
Yeah. And
but
if you're
currently
wondering,
their initial
sorry,
go ahead.
Go right ahead.
I was gonna say their initial goals was obviously the 50,000, which was just for the Switch version, which was their initial plan. They were just gonna make the Switch version. Then it was if they reach 250K, they'll do a Steam version. They do 500K, they'll do a PS4 version. They reach 1 mil, they'll do a time attack for the speedrunners. And they've already hit that, and they're very, very close to hitting the 1.5 mil, which I guarantee they'll reach before it's over. So they've got 27 days, so easily.
Check it out,
and they're
boys.
back. They've only got 22,623 backers. So that's a lot of money from not many people. Yeah,
I think there's definitely a dedicated fan base, and the reason they're even doing this in the first place is because they were going to release the game on Switch anyway for cheap, I'm guessing. Like, it wasn't that hard to port. But they wanted to see, is there interest in the game? Like, is it going to be even worth porting to Steam and PS4? So that's kind of the idea behind a bigger company like Platinum still doing a Kickstarter. And I really hope it's successful.
I like that you say that, because now that I think about it, that would be a good way for companies such as like, and I think this works best for them, companies like EA, when they release a game, and you know how they hit people with their microtransactions and loot boxes or whatever. I don't know if they still do it or not. I haven't been keeping up on EA news because they are literally the video game Satan. But if they were to do like a Kickstarter, not for the full game, like not for the actual game, but just say, hey, we're doing a Kickstarter, and if you guys really are interested and you guys support it, then you'll get this, and that, you know, and like throw in the stuff that they would have put in like the loot boxes or microtransactions into the Kickstarter version. So then people are paying for it and they reach a massive goal. Probably would never be anything too insane, but the people that get it are the people that paid for it. And that way they're not being played and just putting money in consistently for microtransactions or putting money in consistently for one piece of gear that they really want or whatever. So that was just a thought. It's just me. I don't know. Take it or leave it, but EA, if you do want to do that, contact me. I'll set that up for you. Not really, but anyway.
Well, I guess I'll add one more thing, which is I don't know. Have you guys heard of the Platinum 4?
Platinum 4?
Oh, that's the thing where they on their website or whatever
Yes,
they released like a 4, right?
Website called the Platinum 4, and it's 4 games, I'm guessing. And the first one is the Wonderful 101 remastered, and then there's 3 more, or 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm guessing they're games. And I just did a little research on it because I was just bored. I wanted to mention something interesting. This is actually based on the Capcom 5 from the late 2002, where Capcom unveiled 5 games for the GameCube in hopes to boost the GameCube. And so those games are PN03, which no one's heard of, whatever. Dead Phoenix, which never released. It canceled. Killer 7, some of you might have heard of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe, baby.
Yeah, it was one of the Capcom 5, and Resident Evil 4 was one of the Capcom 5. So I think the Platinum 4 is them kind of saying, hey, these are our big games, you know.
Whatever happened to weren't they doing like one that was like supposed to be like a medieval game with like a tower or something? Platinum? They did one.
Yes.
They did one that I remember, and I remember I asked you about it, and you're like, I haven't heard anything about it since then.
Oh, they just showed it off.
Oh, did they? What's it called?
The Square one?
Is this?
It's called something. Oh, God damn it!
Because I remember being interested in it, but they just weren't talking about it for a while.
Babylon's Fall.
Yes, Babylon's Fall. That's what it is.
They just showed that fairly recently.
Does it look good?
It looks pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out because I like Platinum. I think I've played every one of Platinum's games so far, and I really like them. I'm not as great and as big as a fan as Aiden is, but I definitely do like them and enjoy them a lot.
That's good to hear. That's good. How long in are we?
We are currently 54 minutes in.
Ooh. You guys want to do an ad read?
Oh.
An ad read.
Well, Eli.
Boy, would I.
Oh, great. Oh, everybody strap in for another one of Eli's greatest ad reads. Oh, gosh. I'm actually stretching, guys, because I've been sick and the gym has been killing me. I've got an icy hot on my back shoulder. I'm so serious.
We're all prepared. We're waiting.
Okay, well, let me...
Drum roll.
Don't do that, please. I'm actually dying,
Please,
guys.
please drum roll. Please drum roll.
Okay. How's that? Is that good?
That was good.
Okay. All right, now I'm actually going to read off this one. See, and watch. People are going to be like, oh my God, is this real? All right. All right, Aiden, I'm going to direct this one at you because I feel like you've got a little bit in this. So, ad time, everybody. You know what, Aiden? How often do you think about your socks?
You know what, Eli? I'm glad you asked. Because I never think about socks because I don't wear socks. Because I wear flip-flops because I live in California.
California boy through and through.
If I did wear socks and I did think about them, I would wear Bombas socks.
Well, good thing we actually have our new sponsor, Bombas Socks. With Bombas Socks, they've got tons of cool designs and styles to fit your personality. If you're a guy like Aiden, obviously, who doesn't wear socks because, I mean, I don't know, maybe you've got sweaty feet and socks are just uncomfortable or something like that. Hey, I didn't say it. That's just what the script says. Maybe they know something I don't. Who knows?
Hey, fuck you, Bombus.
Aiden's got
Hey,
got
fuck
sweaty
Bombus.
feet.
I take it back. Fuck Bombus.
You
dude.
can't say that. No, you can. Maybe they've researched. Well, maybe you got sweaty feet like Aiden. Who knows? But they've researched the best in fabric technologies to provide you the best in moisture wicking material to keep your feet dry. Maybe it has nothing to do with that. Maybe you're just an athlete. And slipping socks when you go to the gym or you're running or whatever is a constant issue. We got a nice little non-slip padding. It's like a rubber padding in the back of your socks where your ankle goes to prevent chafing and rubbing and slipping on those socks. Protects it from being a constant issue. What do you say to that, Aiden?
Fuck Bombus, dude. Seriously, what the fuck, guys?
Well,
What?
for
Come
a
on,
limited
man.
time. Well, for a limited time, you can get your first pair free. Your first pair for free. All you have to pay is shipping by using our partner code AGPcast. Go to bombussocks.com. That's BOMBASSOCKS.com and check out and use our code AGPcast.
You know what? I know Aiden doesn't like Bombus anymore, but as a person who's on his feet every day, constantly working with dogs, and I do get sweaty feet a lot, and I smell bad, I can say that Bombus has really changed my life for the better. All the ladies now come in and stiff my feet and tell me how nice they smell. Thank you, Bombus.
Thank you, Bombus. What about you, Sean?
What are socks?
He doesn't wear them. He doesn't wear them. But if you were to wear socks, you would wear Bombus.
Thank you, Bombus.
Thank you, Bombus.
Fuck you, Bombus.
Thank you, Bombus.
Fuck you.
All right, guys. I think that was a really good read. I think that
That was fucking. Hey, I got fucking smoked out there. What the fuck was going on?
You did.
Hey,
was
Bombus.
honestly, you want to know
Hey.
something? When I
got a
typed out
problem?
when I typed out this script, Aiden, I knew right when I put in the "What do you say to that, Aiden?" I put in Aiden blank says something crazy because I didn't know. I knew you were just gonna say something off the rail. I was like, all right, well. Oh man, I actually wrote a little script for this. I think maybe I do have like a future in writing ads.
You have
If
a
I
future in
actually
Not if we
Insulting your
blow up
customers.
all of our sponsors.
yeah, because at this point we're not gonna get any if we
yeah,
keep
that's true.
blowing them out. I'll start making fake ones. You guys gonna
That's a
have to
good
pitch
idea.
me some ideas for like mac and cheese.
Oreos.
No, I knew you were gonna say that. The moment I said
yes.
mac and cheese, I was like, "This is a bad route. This is not the
You
way I want
fool!
to
You
go."
walked right into it. Shout outs
no.
to mac and cheese
Gross.
Oreos, hamburger flavored
No,
Oreos.
no shout outs to them.
No.
Shout outs to
Redacted.
Kraft dinner flavor.
Redacted.
Nope. Those don't
But
exist.
separately, shout out to mac and cheese, and shout out to Oreos, and shout out to hamburger meat.
Bro, I could go for a
Those-
burger right now.
Those three separately.
Shout out to my lovely mother for giving birth to me.
Oh,
Shout out to
yeah, shout outs
Pegasus.
to moms. I love you,
Shout
Mom.
out to Pegasus for the Millennium Eye showing us that he was a cheater. You know,
Yeah.
a loser.
Kaiba
Hey, he was a
boy.
cheater? I thought he was just
No.
gay.
Oh, by the way, speaking of mothers, my mom's birthday was yesterday. So
Oh, happy birthday, Eli's
woo
mom.
woo, happy birthday, mama.
Happy birthday.
She was very sick yesterday, so I barely got to talk to her. I called her while I was at work and everything, and she was like in
bad.
bed dying. So I was like, "All right,
you
mom,
almost
I'll
made
talk
a
to you
really
later.
fucked
Go
up
to
joke
sleep."
right there.
What? Whoa. It was about the coronavirus.
You bet it was. I could have made it even more fucked up. But
I feel
won't.
bad because I wanted to just like talk with her for like an hour and I couldn't because again she was super sick and was sleeping when I called her and I think she slept like the whole day. So for Valentine's Day, I'm gonna send her some flowers and chocolates and stuff.
Epic. What are you getting your girl? Are you just doing that for your mom and forgetting her?
Fucking nothing.
Fair
Dude,
enough. That's
damn,
right.
Eli, the Chad. It's like,
Where's she
just
go-
being around me's good enough, bitch.
I mean, I just read Discord. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that.
That's what I was thinking about saying. I was like,
anything goes. Almost anything.
Almost
goes.
anything goes. Podcast.
Yeah.
Chinese hitmen are on route immediately.
Dude, they're on their way to get me, man. You too for that statement.
I know.
All right, we're gonna have to find 2 new members, Ronnie.
Bye, guys.
We just,
Put up that.
well, we can just get rolling. So
Me and Aiden are gone.
we just get rolling.
He'll take
Rowan's
over.
good. Yeah.
Cade and Rowan, yeah. Can I choose Cade?
I was thinking the honorable chairman, but I don't
who's
know.
the honorable chairman?
Ching Pai Lu or whatever.
I'm sure you can figure that out.
Can I?
I'm not sure we're worthy to say his name.
We're definitely not, and I'm
Is
not
it-
blaspheming
okay, wait.
any more than I already have.
Oh, wait a second. Is it a good friend of ours within the Discord?
Eli.
Oh my
Bruh.
God.
All right, am I stupid?
I really hope
Yeah, I
I really
think
hope
so.
you're messing with us right now.
I
Who are you
think he might
talking
be a little
about?
stupid.
Are you talking about our editor?